Alright, boys and girls, it's your boy BE in the house. Yep, I'm doing it free-handed style right now because I just want to show y'all what I'm doing. Alright, I told y'all on the last one that we were padding everything up. I'll show y'all that shit in a minute. But I'm working on the dash right now, and if anybody wants to tackle this shit themselves, yeah, I'm taking money out of my pocket because this is what I do for a living. But I want to give y'all a little heads up on how to do it. Like when foaming and dash, I am known in Texas by a couple people, not a lot because I ain't been here long, so about how I wrap dashes and pad dashes. So this is a dash, if you recognize it, maybe a little bit from Project 1500. So I just got done building the corners like I was telling you. Let me show you right quick. Alright, remember how I told you we're going to put the Soundstream double den in here, right? I told you I was going to bring that angle in right there. So this was like that. So we padded it out, made it all nice and solid. Same thing with this, same thing with that, because all this was squared up from right there. So we padded all that shit up, and as you see, it's turning out pretty good. The objective is to make it look like it came from the factory and nothing's been added. So that's the objective. Obviously, they didn't have dual 7-inch screens in the 80s. Durr. But if they did, and the factory put them in, this is what it would look like. Okay, so we're trying to keep the essence of the same of the dash, because I can't bring it out too far. I can't go over here because this is where it meets. The A-pillar comes up right here, and you can't add no extra width here. So we have to, like, body guys know what I'm talking about. We have to blend everything in. So, and that's what I'm doing. The vent, you see, we added all of this right here, right? That's a 1/4 inch of height, thickness on the dash, but I don't want it to look like it's any different than this. As you see right here where we blended it in right here, I got just a little bit more to go, but all that's going to be done by hand. Most of this stuff has been with my little 90 degree. And this right here, I'm going to show y'all how to do it here in a second. I'm going to start this and bring this down. I razored it off flat right against the edge right there, because we don't want to go over that, because we want to keep the factory appearance with the little action line right here, right? A little, as the dude says on graveyard cars, the styling line, this guy right here. So we want to keep that in there so it still looks like a factory dash. We still have to cut out our AC vents, the VIN number locator, and again, here's another side view where we cut it off flat. And I'm just gonna take that factory curve that's in here, the factory curve on the dash, and I'm just gonna bring it back in there. But it's actually gonna be a 1/4 inch higher, but you won't be able to tell, because when I wrap it, it looks like magic. I guess that's why they call me in San Antonio Merlin the Magician, boy. Baby Ant, what's up, brother? Alright, so Berto, this for you, buddy. I hope you're watching my shit, because I sent you the link. I need the support. You guys need to follow me, please. I want to be famous. I am the most famous guy nobody's ever heard of. But anyway, so I'm going to show you how to do this. See, we got all this looking good. Go back in my videos and see what this dash looked like unpadded. So when I get done and it's covered, you're not going to be able to tell that any of this was added. See, I'm keeping the same, like here's your gauge pod, there's your gauges, but I'm keeping it like right in there. And then we take it down on the same line. You see, we're taking that same slope in there, keeping it all looking good. So we're keeping this to where you won't be able to tell that anything's been added right here, but there's actually been a lot of real estate added in this corner right here. but it also gives the dash a whole lot plusher, softer feel. So gives it a really good look. And after this, we'll make a cover for it when I figure out what is color and design and all that other shit. All I know is there'll be an orange stripe right here. If you remember on the older videos, I showed you the leathers, the 3 colors, the light, the dark, and then the orange, the 2 greens, and then the orange. You know what I'm saying? So, because I'm painting the intake manifold and then the cold air tube, I'm going to paint that to burnt orange. So when you pop the hood, that orange goes straight through here, and then it's going to come down here, and then when it hits the console, it's going to split, and then run up the sides of the console, and then back around the back. The panel right here that we padded up, nice and padded, did 45s on the sides, so it's going to look pretty dope. I put in push pins on the back, put little push pins, we drill our holes. It's not too tight, and these are the tough push pins. These are not your Christmas trees. So those are the tough ones that can be reused. I got 2 there, 1 there, 1 there, and then 2 on the ends, which will help keep it in place. But as you know before, I like shit to be pressure fitted where just the pressure holds it, but that's what's going to keep everything lined up and on target. Then once you just lay them, I like to staple them down. You see? I like to put a piece of lead right there on the backside, staple them in, and then bend the ears on the backside so it kind of helps lock it in place. And then when you lay your pad, you just come back and sand it off smooth, and you're good to go. There's little tricks though on that, because if you push directly on that after you cover it, when you push on it, the foam is weaker because you don't have the protective layer right here, which is kind of like a shell. It's kind of like it just makes it more rigid. But once you break that, the foam gets like here, it gets really soft, and it's very impressionable. So when you glue it, 9 times out of 10 when people push it in, they push with their thumb, and it's going to leave a dimple. So all your work to try to make it hidden just went down the shitter. So when you push them in, I recommend you use something flat and push against that. So, or there's a little trick that I like to do. I like to pre-glue it and just let it set and dry so that glue doesn't get, sticky no more. It won't be sticky. So, but sometimes you're in a rush and you can't do it. All right. So let's get back to the how-to. So we're gonna do a little bit of this right here. I still have to feather this off with a little bit more of the hand because I want this plane right here on the dash. I want that plane to exist here, so it doesn't look, once again, like something's been added. And it's just that little 1/16 of an inch matters, because then you'll see a bulge and cat. It's just me being nitpicky in the way I want shit to look. And then I'm going to show you how to use my little 90 degree on this to get it started. Everything should be hand sanded to finish. This is my little 90 degree with the little Scotch-Brite pad. Works like a champ. I found this idea out when I was doing a bunch of motorcycle seats for Franco's Custom Cycles, which I don't think no longer is around, because Franco's he's in the oil fields now. Holla at me, Franco, if you know what I'm saying. It's all good, brother. So, yeah. Alright, let's get to it. Here we go. Alright, maybe that will be able to see it. So you take your guy. Let's see if I can get around this way so you can see what I'm doing here. You gotta be very careful because this takes off a lot of product really quick. So I'm genuinely funny. He's like, that it gotta be funny. You can't just learn to be funny. And this is pretty much the same thing when doing this type of stuff. You either have to possess some type of talent, artistic ability. You have to be something a little extraordinary. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is just that little extra. So you have to have it. You can't learn some of this shit. Some people just ain't got it. Luckily, I got it. Uncle Buddy, may he rest in peace. He's the one that instilled this car book. Shane, his son, Snowman, on Facebook, check him out. He's got it. He got it too. As much as he hates it, he got it from his dad. But I got it from his dad, my uncle. But my dad, my stepdad, my real dad, but anyway, my dad, Dean, Pop, love you. Tell Mom I love her. My mom's not doing too well. She's in the hospital. My prayers go out to her. Strong, baby. But he helped further that, and Butch, his best friend, helped further my progression as my knowledge and all that came to me. And JP, my mentor, he's the one that saw that sparkle, saw that something in me, and gave me the opportunity to do what I can do, and showed me, guided me, and helped me along to become this. Now he's teaching poetry at prison. Fucker. He needed me as a helper. But anyway, I still got love for you, JP. But back to it. So. Recommend always, just like in buffing, always go off the edge. So like if we were going like I was doing here, the rotation of the Dremel goes this way, right? So you want that way, clockwise, coming off the edge. You don't want to go clockwise into the edge because it will grab and dig in and get you fucked up on, dude. You're having a bad fucking day. It is just foam, and it can be fixed, but probably anyway, that's our lesson for today. I gotta get back, and I gotta do this right here. I gotta do this under edge right here with an 18-inch stroke. And my handstand out. That's it. As you can see, shit's going good. Look at that. Oh, fuck yeah. All right, beat these out. War Eagle, baby. Deuces.